ही नहीं आते क्लास को. Okay, so mean, let's say these are the numbers. So how do we find mean? We add all these numbers and divide by n, right? So सबको add करके that we have 8 digits, 8 numbers. So we divided by 8. Okay, so this is mean. Now to calculate median, we have to arrange these values in increasing order, right? So we have arranged it in the increasing order. So 12, 12, 23, 32, 34, 45, 67, 89. Now we have to find the middle value. ठीक है? How to find middle value? ये ऊपर का 3 है, मान लो ये नीचे का भी 3 है. So now if you see here, we have two middle values here, 32 and 34.
32 and 34.
हाँ. So to find median, you have to take average of 32 and 34. Okay. So you have to add 32 plus 34 divided by 2. So 33 is the median. Okay. So now let's say you had only 7 values. Okay. So 7 values में ये ऊपर का 3, नीचे का 3. So इस केस में you have only one value, right? So this is your median. Median is the mid value. Okay. Median is the mid value. So if total elements are odd numbers, if total, so you have to count. Okay. So if total elements or numbers are odd number, okay, then it's easy. Then it's easy. Okay, and we'll see how to calculate. If elements are even numbers, then we will have two values in middle. So the answer is average of that two values. ठीक है? यहाँ पे जैसे we have इसको कट नहीं करना था.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here you have 8 numbers, even numbers. Even numbers may you'll end up with 2 middle values. So then you have to take average of 2 middle value. In odd number, you will have only one value, right? So that is the median. So how to calculate is you count the number of elements. Okay, if the total element formula. Okay, formula. If you have too many numbers, right? 30, 40, 50, then the formula will be helpful. अगर 8-10 है तो manually also you can do it. Okay, formula क्या है? If odd, then then median is okay n by 2. Okay, n. Okay, in fact odd है ना. Instead of doing n by 2, you can do n plus 1 by 2. That element. Okay, so 7 है तो कौन सा एलिमेंट होगा?
32.
Fourth element, correct? If you have odd number, 7 है यहाँ पे. 7 plus 1 by 2, 8 by 2, fourth. Fourth element is your answer.
Okay.
Okay. If odd, or if even है, then median is okay. Your average of is average of n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1. 8 है मान लो. 8 है तो n by 2 is 4.
8 by 2. 4.
With 4, and then n by 2 plus 1 is 5.
4
So it
plus
is
3.
4 plus 1, 5.
Okay,
Right?
yes, sir.
So it is average of 4th element and 5th element.
Okay. Okay, so got it.
This is median. Median is average of middle value. So if it is even, we'll have two values. It is n by 2 plus, n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1. Odd number में easy है. n plus 1 by 2. Okay, direct one number. Mode. Mode is maximum occurring number.
Repeating.
Occurring number. Now in this case, if you see 12 is appearing maximum number of times. Okay, answer हो गया 12. Mode जो सबसे ज्यादा बार repeat हो रहा है. Now let's say if this number had 12, 12 and 89, 89, then 12 and 89 both are mode. Whichever is maximum number of times occurring, those are your mode. अगर 12 दो बार हो रहा है, 89 भी दो बार है, तो it is 12 and 89 both are your mode. Now let's say you have 89 again. Now the mode is 89, no longer 12.
89.
Because 89 is appearing 3 times.
Yes.
Right? So mode is number which is appearing maximum number of times.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now to calculate standard deviation. Okay. 3-4 step मालूम करना है. क्या करना है? Mean. In standard deviation we use mean. Okay. So mean is 39.5. So step 1 is minus. Okay. 39 minus 23. Okay. 39 minus 34. 39 minus, so you have to minus mean with all the values. Okay, step 1. This is step 1. Mean minus all the values. 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 This is your step 1. Okay. See, now we have some negative number, some positive number. So we have to make all the numbers positive. So how can we do that? You multiply, you find the square. So 16.25 into 16.25. 5.25 into 5.25. Okay. 27.25 into this. So you have to find average of all the values. Okay, this is step 2. Okay, step 3 में क्या करते हैं? You find the average of this. Okay, so to find, how do you find average? You will do the sum, right? Add all these values and divide by 8. So this is your third step. Okay, now this is also called as variance. The step 3, okay, step 1, okay, step 2 means step 1 is calculate mean. Okay, so you can, let's say you can call it as step 1 here. Calculate mean. Step 2 is subtract each value with mean. Step 3 is find the square of the answer. Step 4 is find the average. Okay, this is also called as variance. Okay, now your step 5 is your standard deviation. कैसे करते हैं? You find the square root because we have done the square. So now we have to do the square root. Square it कर दो 63 का. This is your standard deviation. Yes, no, maybe. So 5-step process.
स्क्वायर रूट कैसा करना है?
स्क्वायर रूट कैलकुलेटर से कर लो या एक्सेल तो अलाउड नहीं हुआ एग्जाम में ना. एक्सेल में फॉर्मूला है SQRT.
हाँ.
मतलब कैलकुलेटर अलाउड होगा इस एग्जाम में? इस एग्जाम में कैलकुलेटर अलाउड होगा शायद नहीं?
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर अलाउड है.
Yes, sir.
हाँ तो
Yes, sir.
कैलकुलेटर.
हाँ है सर.
Sir, in this book, sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
सर ये किसका
In this book
ये
we are-
वेरिएंस का
1% at a time. 1% at a time, please. Yes.
Manish,
Go ahead,
you
Arman.
can carry on.
Okay, Manish.
So,
आप चुप हैं तो दोनों चुप है.
so, sir,
Yes.
in this book, the first step is they have calculated, they have added each and every number, sir. Sum of observation by number of. Sir, in this book we have numbers 15, 17, 19, 20, 30.
Correct. So they have added
We have
and found the average.
divided by yes sir.
So
So
that
we
is
can do
step
this
one.
also.
This is
This
what we
model
did, correct? So we'll go step by compare. Let's
also.
compare. So step one is same, correct?
So okay. So in the exam we can do both also.
No. I didn't get you. What I'm saying. See.
तो यहाँ पर ना सर यहाँ पर क्या करें सर पूरा नंबर्स ऐड कर लिया उसके बाद तो पूरा टोटल कितने नंबर्स है उससे डिवाइड कर लिया सर
हाँ वो तो मीन हो गया ना, वो एवरेज है।
ऐसा करना ये सर ऐसा भी कर सकते एग्जाम में ऐसा ही करना आप बताए वैसा।
मैंने भी तो वही किया ना, मैंने क्या किया?
अच्छा ओके यस सर।
See, this is standard deviation and this is mean. What you just told me is the process to calculate mean, average. Average I mean दोनों एक ही word है, एक ही होता है.
Okay sir, got it.
Okay, so what you just told me is the steps to calculate average. Same thing we did. Okay, and it is also the first step to calculate standard deviation.
Okay, got it sir.
Okay, Manish.
सर मोड का कुछ ऐसा ही सम है क्या सर? नहीं जस्ट छोटा आता मोड का।
क्या बोल रहे हो? मोड इजी है ना, मतलब कुछ फॉर्मूला ही नहीं है, बस देख के बोल दो कौन सा है।
रिपीटेड वैल्यू,
हाँ जो मैक्सिमम रिपीटेड है वही है मोड। अगर 5 एलिमेंट है कोई भी रिपीट नहीं हो रहा है, समझो 2 3 4 5 6, इसका मोड क्या है? इसका मोड सारे हैं, because all are maximum number of times repeating. So this has 5 modes, 2 3 4 5 6 all are mode.
Yes.
जैसे अगर मैं 2 दे दिया यहाँ पे तो now mode will become 2. अगर मैं 6 डाल दिया so mode is now 2,6. So mode can be 1 number, 2 number, 3 numbers, multiple numbers can also be mod, but mean and median is always one number. Mean and median is always one number. Okay, single value. Standard deviation also single value. Variance also single value. Your mode can be any number of values. If all are single values, then all are mode.
Yes. अरमान क्लियर हो गया?
हाँ यस क्लियर
सर I will ask. सर shall I?
थोड़ा ब्रेक हो रहा है शायद।
Yes sir. So now I am.
Shall I ask sir?
You can ask, but your voice is breaking. Ask me please.
Sir, nominal and ordinal data differences.
Nominal and ordinal. See, जिस डेटा में ऑर्डर इंपॉर्टेंट है वो ऑर्डिनल हो गया, जहां पे ऑर्डर इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है वो नॉमिनल हो गया. Now if you see, both are under categorical value. Categorical value means the numbers should belong to a group. Okay, like male female. The male female is a categorical value. North, south, east, west is a categorical value. Okay, good, bad, or let's say average,
fair,
bad is your group values, right? क्या बोलते हैं, canonical values. Then let's say 1 2 3 4 5, this is also a canonical value. You're giving out of 5, rating out of 5, right? 1 2 3 4 5. Or you can say not educated, okay, under class 10, under class 10, under metric, right? Then you have graduate,
intermediate,
graduate, postgraduate. Okay, now these are values which belongs to same group, so all these are categorical value. Now here you tell me, can I write male or male first or female first? Will it make any sense? Will it make any negative sense or any different sense? No, right? I can write female first or male later, right? So this is ordinal. Okay, ordinal means order is not nominal. Okay, nominal means order is not important. Order is not important. North, south, east, west. Here also order is not important, but good, average, bad. Here order is important. I cannot say bad, good, average. Ulta pulta nahi bol sakte ho, right? So this becomes your ordinal data, where order is important. Ordinal order, okay, is important. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 5 2 5 2 1 2 कुछ बोल सकता हूँ क्या उल्टा पुल्टा नहीं, right? Either I should say 1 2 3 4 5 or 5 3 5 4 3 2 1, right? You cannot say 1 4 2 5 3. Okay, so this is order is important. So this is your ordinal data. Not educated undergraduate. So slowly you're going from not education to highest education level, right? So there is an order in which we are following. Okay, so this is also an example of ordinal data. Right, so this is the difference between ordinal and nominal. Order is important in ordinal OO. Order O, ordinal O. OO, order is important. Nominal order is not important. Both similarities, both belongs to canonical data. Okay, we don't talk about numerical or in text data. Okay, both belongs to canonical data. That is the similarity. Difference is order is important in ordinal. Okay, it's not important in nominal.
Okay, so calculate histogram, then we have to just do the graph.
In histogram.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, histogram, you have to do the graph. Okay. Histogram, what does histogram says? Histogram talks about, it is, you can say it, you know, it is graph of mod, basically. Okay. They're trying to plot mods here. So there are two ways to do it. If you have individual numbers, okay, you can do histogram, or you'll have to create some kind of group. Okay, so let's say you have, okay, let's say you have 10 students in your class, roll number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so your first roll number 1 got placed in a finance company. Okay, this got placed in a operations company. Again, this got placed in a finance company. This guy got placed in retail company. Let's say manufacturing. Okay, let's repeat it. So now in this case, what we'll do is you will draw on x-axis the count. Okay, so in frequency table, okay, or histogram. So what we just drew is the data. Now we have to draw frequency table. Okay, so frequency table may you will take the unique values. Okay, say finance, operation, retail, manufacturing. Okay, so these are the okay, this is called as frequency table.
Yes.
Okay, and this is your data, or you can say domain, and this is the count. How many students got placed in which domain? Finance 4, okay, operation 2, retail 2, manufacturing 2, right? So this is called frequency table. Now we have to draw a histogram. So in histogram, okay, so you have x-axis and y-axis, and the x-axis you will talk about domain, right? And on y-axis we'll talk about count. It is always how many on y-axis, how many. So finance
is always
4, right? Retail 2. So this will be 0, okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so retail, your manufacturing, and your, what is that, operations. Okay, so you always plot histogram as a frequency table, okay, or the count. Okay, now let's say this is probably easy, right, to do that.
Yes, sir.
Now let's say we have one data, mobile phone usage data.
Group data.
Group data. So mobile phone usage, ठीक है, किसी ने ₹1 यूज किया महीने का, किसी ने ₹5, 10 12 15 18 say 16, 13, 20, 21, 22, 25, 29, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, 39, 40. Okay. Now see, if you start drawing a histogram for this, all these are unique data, isn't it? If these are unique data, then drawing histogram of this doesn't make sense. So kya hoga? Hoga 1, 5, you will have very long x-axis and all of these will be 1, 1. Correct? So in this case, doesn't make sense to do. Generally, okay, when you have all the numbers, you have to think, can you divide? Okay, so number of this, they are called buckets, okay? Ye jo hai na, on x-axis, typically this should not be more than 10 or 12. It should be around 8 to 12, okay, thumb rule. Okay, see, when you have text, you have no choice. Okay, when you text, you have to do like this. But let's say if you have some numbers like this, okay, 5, 5, 5, 10, 15,
0 to 5, 5 to 10.
15, 15, 10, 20, 25, 25, 25. Now, if you have data like this also, it makes sense to draw something like this, what we drew before. Okay.
So if we have data like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30.
I'll tell you. Okay, let's go step by step. Okay, we'll do this and then we'll come back here.
Okay.
Okay, just give me 1 second. 1 second, please. I need to respond to a message from office. 1 second. One second, guys. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay. Almost done. Okay. So see, let's say we have this data, right? 5, 5, 5, 10, 15, 15, 10, 20, 25. So first step is to draw frequency table, right? So when you draw frequency table here, it is easy to draw frequency table. Okay. So you can say data and frequency, right? Count or frequency. Okay. So here I'm going to say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. So how many 5s are there?
2.
How many 10s?
3.
How many 15s?
2.
3.
3. 3.
How many 20s?
1.
1.
25?
3.
Okay. So yes. So now you can draw the graph, isn't it? So, here you will have 5, okay, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and you can see 1, 3, whatever. Okay. So, I mean, you can draw using Excel bar graph. Histograms are nothing but bar graphs. So if I go and say, okay. Okay, so it took the data wrong. Okay, so we need to change it. Change, select data. Okay, it should be reverse. Switch goes to a column. That's not right. Wait. Select data. So flip. This is wrong, right? So insert column, okay, and it's reading this as number. This is not number. Okay, that's why it's creating problem. Okay, this is like your bar. Okay. Okay, this is wrong.
So you can do the bar graph of third line.
Right.
So
instead what we'll do is, let's not select data, let's select frequency directly. Now it will be easy. Okay. Okay, so this is your data. Now here the label will go and say format access and interval tick mark 5 and start from
0.
Yeah. Okay. But you understood, right? So this is your 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3. So this is your histogram. Now, if you take this data, right? Now here everything you have many values. Okay, one. Second thing I told you, right? We should not take more than 10 to 12. So now we have to convert, we have to group this data, right? So
Convert.
you have to group this data basically.
Okay.
Right? You have to group this data. So to group it, we maximum, okay, we should take 10 group or 12 group. 8 to 12 is best, right? So how many, what is the minimum value? It starts from 1 and goes up to 40.
1.
Okay, it starts from 1, goes up to 40. So if I create a group 0 to 5, okay, 5 to 10,
5 to 10, 10 to 15.
right? So 5 to 10, 5 to 10, let me put it this way, 0 to 5, okay, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40. Okay, so how many buckets have we created? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 buckets, right? So this is within our, generally, you know what we do, 8 to 12. Okay, so you should always look at minimum and maximum. Based on that, you have to create the number of buckets. Now you tell me, if I have a minimum value of 5 and maximum value of 299, okay, minimum is 5, maximum is 299 in a data set. So what should be your group here? What kind of group will you create?
5 to 9,
5.
9, not 55. 5 to 9, 10 to 19.
So always.
So am I right?
Okay. Okay. So first thing, when you are starting, right, always try to take like 0, 5, 10, 15, that kind of numbers. Okay, it looks more okay. Preferably multiples of 10, like 0 or 10 or 20. Okay, so since it is 5, we'll start from 0. Okay, then what would be the size of this each group? This is size is 5.
9.
Okay, so always the size will be equal.
Okay.
Okay, I cannot say 0 to, I cannot say 0 to 10, and here I can say 0 to 50 is wrong. Here the size should be equal. If I say 0 to 10, it should be 10 to 20, 20 to 30. I cannot say 0 to 10 and 10 to 50 and 50 to 100. I cannot say in frequency table. Okay, so now you tell me. Okay, so we are starting from 0, let's say. Okay, 0 to what?
0 to 10.
Now, if you take 0 to 10,
No.
okay,
No.
0 to 10, 10 to 20, 300 ke liye, you have to make 30 buckets. Right? 30 bucket is
So
not
it may be
preferred.
0. So it may be 0 to
0
9
to 30.
or 19.
Okay.
No, 30
So
is wrong.
okay, so you can say if you take 0 to 20 also, there's a problem. Okay, you'll end up getting 15 buckets, 15 to 16 buckets. Okay, it should not be more than 12. Maximum is 12.
0 to 5 only.
अरे 0 to 5 का कैसे करोगे मेरे को, और बढ़ेगा कि नहीं बढ़ेगा? It will be 60. So you can say 0 to 20. So 20 will be around 15, right? So not preferred. So you can say 0 to 25. Okay, 0 to 25 can be a better choice. 0 to 25 or 0 to 30, whatever you feel
25
like.
to 50.
If you take 30, you'll end up getting 10 buckets, 10 groups, which is also okay. If you take 0 to 25, you will end up getting 12 buckets. Correct? So you can take 0 to 25 or 0 to 30. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
You should not get more than 12 and less than 8. You know, there's no such rule, but keep that in mind. Okay, the number of groups you should end up getting should not exceed 12 or less than 8. Okay, so I can take 0 to 25. If I take 0 to 25, 100 के लिए 4 होता है, तो 300 के लिए 12 होगा. So we'll end up getting 12 groups. If you take 0 to 30, you'll end up getting 10 groups, right? 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 10 groups. If you take 0 to 40, okay, then probably it will be too few, right? So 0 to 25 or 0 to 30 is the best choice. Okay, so you know, that's how you create. This is important. Once you create this, in this case we have created 0 to 5. Now you see how many values. So what I'll do, 0 including and 5 is, let's say, including here. Okay, since we are saying 0, we will include 5, and here we will not, we'll do more than 5. Let's say that's the assumption. So 1 will come here, isn't it? 5 will also come here, right? 10 will come here. 12 will come here. Okay, 15 will come here only, up, right? Then 18 will come here. 16 will come here only, right? Then 18.
20.
20.
18 up only.
Okay, 20 also up only, right?
Up only.
So 18, 16, 20 up. 13 will go here. Okay, so you will create this frequency. So let's say you have 2, 3, 10, 15, 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now you draw the graph, something like this. So this will be your 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Okay, you can choose whatever way you want, right? So follow the same rule. If I'm saying 0 to 5 will be here, okay, so starting value is always including and ending value is up to, okay, then it's fine. And you do it for all here, same thing. Okay, I cannot say, okay, here less than equal to 5 and here less than 10. No, whatever you're doing, you have to follow the same rule for all the values. Yes, did you get it, what I'm saying? So in this case, if 5 you're counting here, not here, second, right? You're counting 5 here. 10 should also be counted here, not down. 15 should also be counted here, not down. Okay, so you can decide what how you want to count and follow the same rule for all the groups. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Now you draw the graph.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Yes.
Sir.
Okay. Now tell me any other question.
सर ऑर्डिनल एंड नॉमिनल डेटा के और डिफरेंसेस?
अरे वो डिफरेंसेस बुक में पढ़ लो ना, अगर एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ना है तो बुक में टेबल बना के दिया ना मैंने। नहीं समझ में आया तो पूछो मेरे से।
So we have a question.
क्या मनीष?
टाइम सीरीज डेटा सर।
Okay, time series data. Arman, you had a question?
Data third type.
Yes, of course, complete. Okay.
No, what is this?
Third type है ना सर, time series data.
Okay, I got your question, Manish. Arman का भी कुछ question था. What is your question, Arman?
So we have a question like, what is Bayes theorem in last year paper?
What is Bayes theorem?
Bayes theorem. Could you please recap it?
Okay. So first, let's talk about time series data. In time series data, okay, you will always have time factor, the data that depends upon time. Okay, so let's say sales. Now, when you say sales will be, let's say 12,000 rupees. Now, 12,000 rupees for January 2022. So if you have a time period associated with the data, it is time series data. Okay, so time series data will always have what? Time series data will have what?
Period of time.
So it will always have time period associated with it. Okay, so it is a numeric data. Okay, it is a numeric data which is collected over period of time. Okay, numeric data alag hai, and this is same. You are measuring same thing. Okay, sales hai. You are measuring sales only. You talk about measuring sales of cars. So it is all are sales of cars only. यहाँ पे car, यहाँ पे scooter, यहाँ पे cycle ऐसा नहीं होगा. If you're talking about number of cars, so it is number of cars in Jan, number of cars in Feb, number of cars in March, number of cars in April. So you have same metric measured over different period of time. It's called time series data. Okay. Now, what is Bayes theorem?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now, Bayes theorem is your probability. We're trying to calculate probability. Okay, so here there's a condition. Okay, probability when given a condition is Bayes theorem. Okay, so the Bayes theorem formula will be, what is the probability of A happening when B is given? Okay, what is the probability of A happening when B is given? Okay, so you always will have denominator condition. Okay, now what is the probability of simple question पूछता हूँ. Okay, what is the probability of getting head when you toss a coin?
1.
What is
क्या 1? कुछ भी बोलते हो.
1 head, 1 tail ना sir.
What is the probability of getting head when you toss a coin one time?
What is the probability of getting heads?
1/2.
हाँ, तो क्या 1? It is 1/2. दिमाग लगा के बात करो. एग्जाम में ऐसे नहीं कुछ भी लिख के आ जाओगे. अब बात Okay.
just ऐसे बोलते
So
हैं वो कम कर
probability
देते
of
हैं 1 by
getting
2
head, probability of getting head when you toss a coin once is 1 by 2. One is what you want, and there are two possibilities, head and tail, right? So you want head out of head and tail. So probability is 1 by 2. Okay, this is normal probability. Okay. Now the Bayes theorem में क्या होगा? What is the probability of getting head given that it is tail? Given
0
that
by 1.
0 by 1, exactly. Okay, 0 because it is already tail. We know it is tail. So probability of getting head is not 0, right? So if India and South Africa they are batting, okay, the probability of Pant winning toss is 1 by 2. But if he says head and it is tail, given that it is tail, the probability of him winning the toss is 0 now. So that's how the conditional condition will apply. Okay. Now, for example, what is the probability of raining today? Okay. So now let's say if it is bright, so I'll tell you what is the probability of raining today if it is sunny and bright. You will say 20%. What is the probability of raining today if it is dark and cloudy? You will say 80%. What is the probability of raining? Let's say there are three possibilities. Let's say there are three possibilities: rain, sunshine, and wind. मान लो तीन ही probability है. So then you will say that 1 by 3. Okay. What is the probability of raining today? 1 by 3. Okay. तीन possibilities है, तीन में से एक ही होगा 1 by 3. But if I tell you it is dark and cloudy, then it is not 1 by 3. Okay. Sunshine is gone. You'll have only windy.
2 by 3.
You'll have only windy and rain. So the probability will increase to 2 by 3. Okay. So when you are, okay, so in condition, you are removing out something. Okay. So probability when given a certain condition. Okay, that is Bayes theorem. So if you have three possibilities, okay, so the probability is 1 by 3. But if I remove one possibility, it is dark, so it can be windy or rainy, right? So the probability of rain will be now not 2 by 3. Okay, that's wrong. It is now 1 by 2. Or you can say,
Yes, sir.
right? Yeah. So book mein examples hai. There are 2-3 examples you can refer. Okay, Bayes theorem. Okay, so Bayes theorem will always have condition given that. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Got 7 more minutes.
क्वेश्चन को और एक्सटेंड करके पूछो.
नहीं.
So is there anything more like histogram in R programming?
नहीं, sorry, your voice was not clear. क्या?
So is there anything like histogram? Is there anything more like histogram in R programming?
देखो, histogram is a concept, isn't
Okay.
it?
Histogram is a concept. Okay.
Correct?
Yes, sir. Got it. Yes.
So okay, so histogram, whether you draw using Excel or you draw pen and paper or you draw using R. Graph में important है histogram, then your box plot. Okay, box plot भी important है. And then there is one more, scatter plot. Scatter plot will talk about correlation. Scatter plot will talk about correlation. Box plot will talk about your range and your quartile. And histogram talks about frequency. So frequency table, so you have histogram, box plot, and scatter plot. And I assume, and I think that ये तीन में से एक तो पक्का आएगा in your exam.
Okay. Scatter plot, box plot, histogram.
Yes.
So I am asking that, sir. Sir, hello.
हाँ बोलो.
So like second chapter में we have problems on mean, median, mode and theory also. Both theory and problems will come. Both will come.
देखो एक चीज है, see I'll tell you, I'm not your teacher, so I'm not tracking. पहली बात, दूसरी बात कि तुम्हारा second batch है ना.
Yes sir.
So we don't even have enough you know data. We don't have enough data to tell. Okay.
Yes sir.
What I am assuming is, since your first batch, mostly you will get theory questions. Okay. तुम्हारे junior को फिर ज्यादा problems आएगा, because first batch है ना, they may not want to be very strict. So theory generally आ सकता है, and if you write 80% correct also, you'll get marks. Okay. 20% correct लिख के you can't expect 50% marks, but if you write 80%, they'll give you full marks. Okay. My assumption based on what I would say. तुम्हारे seniors के लिए और भी easy होगा. For you, little difficult. For juniors के लिए और भी ज़्यादा difficult होगा. They have to study. They cannot, you know. So I am assuming that you will have some problems, but maybe problem 25%, 30% होगा. 70% तो theory होगा. That is my take. But again, you know, ना तो मैं university से involved हूँ, ना तो paper देखा हूँ, so we cannot say that, right?
Yes sir.
The distribution and its various types.
उस दिन बताया था ना, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन 4 टाइप का पढ़ के जाओ. मैं एक ही चीज को बार-बार पूछते हैं मनीष. That day we spoke about how many types of distribution? Tell me.
सर एक binomial distribution.
Mainly there are 2 types of distribution: discrete and continuous. In discrete we did binomial and Poisson. In continuous we did normal and exponential. 4 distribution है. पहले you have 2 types of distribution basically. और वैसे रियल प्रैक्टिकल में बहुत सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है. डिस्क्रीट में भी मैं खुद 8-10 पढ़ा हूं, तो there will be more than 10. But in your syllabus you have only 2 from discrete and 2 from continuous. Okay, so binomial Poisson from discrete.
Discrete means countable.
Countable, yes. Continuous means you can't count it, you know, if all are possibilities. Not
Infinite.
Infinite, yes.
Sir, could you please explain interquartile range? Interquartile range.
Interquartile range. Okay. Median. मालूम चल गया ना median?
Yes sir.
Okay.
Middlemost value.
Middlemost value, exactly. So let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's easy to calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. इसलिए मैं कर रहा हूँ. Okay. So ये data हो गया. So it's generally these topics comes under spread. You're looking at the spread of the data. Minimum value क्या है?
What?
Maximum value क्या है?
22.
Okay. Range क्या है?
1 to 22.
1.
So range is max minus mean. Okay.
Upper limit minus lower limit.
हाँ, max minus mean in range. क्या होगा?
2 minus 1 1.
21.
2 minus 1 क्या? कुछ भी बोलते हो यार? 22 minus 1, 21. Okay. So your range is 21, right? Okay. Now let's increase the complexity. What is median? See, median means dividing the data set into 2 halves. Okay, we're dividing the data set in 2 halves. Now we talk about quartile. Quarter, matlab dividing the data set into
4 half.
4 half कैसे होगा यार? Half तो 2 ही होगा.
सिर्फ 4 part. 4
quartile or 4 quarters. Okay, so quartile is dividing the data set into. तो अगर ये डेटा है, इसका हाफ क्या हो गया? मीन हो गया, मीडियन हो गया, और इसका हाफ निकाले तो क्या हो गया? क्वार्टाइल हो गया. ठीक है ना? जैसे 1 to 22 है, इसका मान लो 22 मान लो क्वार्टाइल है, सॉरी मीडियन है, राइट? और इसका भी 6 है मान लो. Okay, यहाँ पे 18 है मान लो.
Yes.
That means
18.
we have divided data set into 4 quarters. This is your
4 quarters. First quarter.
yes.
Quarter
This is
one.
your first quarter.
First quarter.
This is your
Second quartile.
Okay.
right.
Q.
This is your
Q3. Quartile Q3.
and this is your
Quartile 4. Q4.
Q4. Okay, so what we have done in median, we are dividing the data set into 2 halves. In quartile, we are dividing the data set into 4 quarters. Okay, so this is 1/4 of the data, second fourth, third fourth, and so your Q3, okay, is 12. This is same as your median. Data is no, this is not right. See,
11 is median.
no. See, we always have to write here. Okay, this is called as Q0. Q0 means minimum. Okay, quartile 1 is your end of your first quartile. This value, end of your first quartile. We always look at the end value. The quartile 1 is your end value, which is Q1 or 1/4 of the data. Okay, so Q2 is going to be here, end of quartile 2. This is same as your median. Okay, Q3 will be end of this. Okay, so this is same as 50% of the data.
Yes, sir.
Now Q4 will be here, same as maximum value. Okay, so range is Q4 minus Q0 or max minus min. Interquartile range IQR is Q3 minus Q2. Generally, your Q1 and Q4 will have outliers. So to remove the outliers, when do we see if the data is normal, then you can do range and interquartile range, both will give you, not same because they're not same, right? But both will give you correct understanding. But when you have outliers, that's when, 1 second, I have to log up. Okay. So your interquartile range is nothing but Q3 minus Q1. Okay, not Q4 minus Q0. So in this case, it will be 17 minus 6, which is 11. Interquartile is Q3 minus Q2. Okay, this is IQR. We'll end it here. It's already 6. We'll end it here. Okay, if you have any questions, you please